core of human nature, we all hold something dear to us. A sense of belonging to a family, a community, or a country. The notion of nationality is expressed in many ways. Through language, politics, culture, and, of course, food. The combination of all these social elements gives us our identity. Flavours, sights, smells, and tastes remind us of who we are, where we're from, and the streets of our homeland. In modern Europe, despite the union of many countries, there is one region which continues to fight to retain its right of identity. Nestling in the Bay of Biscay in the north of Spain, just over the border from France, San Sebastian is a gourmet heaven in the heart of the Basque country. It's an area that's fiercely proud of its culture and traditions and is known for its spirit of independence. For the everyday man and woman on the streets of San Sebastian, being Basque is not just an identity, it's a badge of honour they wear and protect. So before you immerse yourself in the exquisite cuisine, sit down for a meal, it's important to understand what it means to be Basque. It's a complex reality. So as the Basque flag flies alongside Spain's above the town hall, I'm meeting local politician Javier Ezezabera to try to understand how this semi-autonomous region functions. So what would you say were the key elements of Basque identity?
Well, I would say that, in my view, of course, we are talking about language, not only one language, but even to share French language as a part of our identity, because we are a nation divided by the Pyrenees in two different states. But of course, our proper language is Basque. It is a single family language in the world, so that's an important part of our identity. And afterwards, I would suggest or quote political identity. We think that we have historical rights towards the European Union and towards the Spanish Constitution, and we want to push forward in favor of an agreement with Spain to recognize those rights.
And for people who don't understand how the system works, how much control do you have locally over the daily lives of ordinary people, and how much does Spain control?
Yeah, well, the key element there is, yes, that we have a parliament, we have a government. What Spain controls very, very deeply is, for example, the whole interpretation of the system of human rights. And that's the thing that we should be resolving as soon as possible, because they can ban political parties directly without taking into account our political situation. They can close newspapers, and they've done it twice in the last 10 years.
But just a few blocks away, down one of the city's cobbled streets, there is one age-old Basque tradition that continues today unaffected by daily politics. This is a Societat Gastronomica, a men-only eating club, where food and socialising are the menu of the day, not politics.
No, for us, politics is politics, but here we shouldn't talk about that. Here everything is relaxed. If people talk about politics, people say, leave it out. We are Basque to our core, but we are cultural Basques, not political Basques.
Juan-Marie ARZAK is something of a Basque identity in his own right, a world-class chef and businessman who runs a 3-star Michelin restaurant. But here in his local Societat Gastronomica, as he cooks for his male friends, he's just another San Sebastian local celebrating his heritage.
For me, it's a normal part of my life. We live here. I like coming to the society. I come and cook for friends. Everything we need is here. I eat here with my friends, and even when I'm celebrating a special occasion, I come here.
Like their traditions, the existence of the Basque people dates back many centuries. Indeed, it's thought they're the direct descendants of early West European civilization. And today, many practices remain untouched, deeply rooted in the Basque identity. The region's homemade cheese, produced from a specific type of sheep's milk, is just as popular as it ever was. and Juan Marie has served up specialities from the Basque region for some very distinguished guests.
We adore all our produce and traditional cooking. When I cooked for the Queen of England, I gave her traditional dishes. For us, traditional cooking is sacred. And for me, the producers, the cheesemakers and fishermen are very important. There's always friendship with the suppliers. I eat once a month with the shepherds. We eat, we sing, we play accordion. We have a magic day. It's very special.
But if you look around what used to be male-only gatherings, you'll notice a stark change. What developed as an escape for men from the female domestic domain has opened its doors. So these old-fashioned men-only eating societies have evolved over the years. Women are not only joining in now, but some of them are building on the secrets, the traditions of Basque cuisine, adding their own modern experimental touch to take it to new heights. For ELENA ARZAK, Juan Marie's daughter, Basque cooking is in her blood. She's learned the skills of her trade from her father. ELENA now manages the ARZAK family's 3-star Michelin restaurant.
This restaurant belongs to my family since 1897. When I was a child, I used to come here and to help a little bit in the kitchen. There was my grandmother, my mother, my father, and our aunt. And of course, I am influenced of him because we are father and daughter. But, you know, we are two different persons, and I've got the freedom of adapting as well new techniques and new presentations and new combinations.
New techniques, which are more aptly described as gastronomic experimentation, taking the basics of Basque and adding flavours from around the world.
What we really do is a cooking that is Basque, modern, of avant-garde and personalized. We have a kitchen of investigation, and we call it the bank of ideas.
Give me an idea of something that you're making which has a mixture of that kind of Basque influence but is your real personal take on it.
Bueno, I like a lot, for example, cooking fish, no? Because we are in San Sebastian, and San Sebastian is a place where the fish is very, very important. And I like a hake we have now in the menu that is a hake with white clay.
Oh, white clay as in?
Yes, white clay is a natural clay with no sand. It sounds strange, but at the end, it's very important that the plates are very tasteful.
Cooking is the most important thing for Basques. We adore food. It's very important. Here in San Sebastian, there are 3 Michelin star restaurants. And in ours, it's the only 3-star place where normal people come to eat. Fishermen, farmers and the like. Because they like to eat. They like to eat with their heads. Not just traditional things, but the evolutionary style of food we do. You can meet a millionaire or an ordinary young guy who's saved up for a month to come and eat there once in the year.
There's a strength of character here you see in the city and the surrounding countryside. Farmers like Andres IRTUETA, who for instance pass on time-old skills to a new breed of worker. The famous local EQUIAZABAL cheese, a staple part of the Basque diet, is now a valuable commodity.
Cheese is important here because, like so many other things, it's homemade. We used to grow our own wheat and corn, and of course, because we had our own milk, from that we were able to make cheese. We were self-sufficient, but then, as times changed, we arrived at a point where we had to sell the cheese to make a living so we could have the money to buy other things.
But while cheesemaking is still a viable trade, the profession at the centre of the Basque soul is at serious risk of disappearing. Here in the Basque country, fish is a staple food and forms the basis of many meals. But in Hondarribia harbour, Juan José's fishing trawler remains dormant. The fishing nets are gone, and instead he prepares rods and reels for tourists. As Juan steers out through the headlands, He passes other boats in the traditional Basque fleet. Many can just no longer compete with rising operating costs and restrictive catch quotas.
The reason I've stopped is because things are getting more and more expensive. You just can't make the living you did before. Fish is still selling for the same price as it was 20 years ago, but we have to pay a higher price for everything else like fuel and wages. It is sad. The whole situation is sad because the problem is you are away for so long at sea, and at the end of the day, it's not worth the effort.
Fishermen from other parts of Europe are also struggling to earn a living from fishing. Family traditions of a life on the high seas are under threat. The great-grandson of a fisherman, Juan is dismayed that his son will almost certainly not carry on the tradition.
The Basque country wouldn't be the same without fishing. It is an integral part of the Basque culture. It's very important to our identity. We've been fishing here for centuries. Boats went out to the New World. We were fishing in this region before Columbus. So you can appreciate how rooted it is in the Basque identity, and it just wouldn't be the same without it.
And nor will the food. Fish is so integral to the Basque diet, and already what ends up on the plate is being affected.
What you really notice is that the favorite dish here is anchovies. But for the last 3 years, we haven't been able to catch anchovies, so people here have had to get them from the Mediterranean or farther away. It is something years ago that was unimaginable.
The targeting of anchovies is now strictly controlled by a quota system, a system the people of San Sebastian feel puts them at a distinct disadvantage.
Within the last 2 decades, for example, the fishing quotas that we were allowed to fish from the European community are coming down systematically. And we don't have any tools at international level, at European level, well, to play together with the rest of European countries to say we want to get respect for this, what we call historical rights as well, of the fishing Basque fleet. And that is a duty that should be assumed by the Spanish government, but they didn't. They did not assume that role.
It is something that really is in your blood. It is an intense feeling, and for the last 2 years, I haven't been able to fish properly. I feel like I'm drying up inside. And until I can get this new business going, it's draining my soul out of me.
Today's Europe, with its bureaucracy and fishing quotas, is challenging the Basque identity and traditions, and this is already having repercussions on the local food.